This is Dr. Traci K. I love you in this place. Thank you for coming to share your practice and to listen to another spiritual vibe message. Oh, I'm so glad you're here. If you are new, welcome. And if you're coming back, welcome back. And haven't already, make sure you follow me on social media. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Dr. Traci K with an I. Facebook is Working It Out series, and you can keep up to date and get encouraged and get some good spiritual vibes when you're needing it. And also, if you haven't already, we have a group that is growing and growing. It's called the Spiritual Vibration Challenge. It's at facebook.com/group/spiritual vibration challenge. If you're seeking spiritual support, if you're seeking guidance or motivation or seeking answers, go in there, share your story, share your motivational art and quotes. I think you'll be encouraged and inspired. And I want to thank you so much because the support you provide me is so important to grow. And if you haven't subscribed to my podcast, you can do so on YouTube and also Spotify and all that you need. It's on everything you can think of. Player FM, there's Listen Notes, Apple, you name it. I mean, you can also check out the podcast. So what I want to talk to you today is about fail to prevail. A lot of times in our lives, we find that the ones that we love the most or think we're going to get supported by the most are not so supportive. They're maybe always looking at us like, okay, this is a failure. Maybe some men and fathers out here think, well, I am looked at upon as a failure. Maybe you are a child who has not had that encouragement from your father or your mother, or maybe you don't feel like you're in a close knit, like a black sheep of a family. I don't know why they call it black sheep, but you're just the oddball sense. Or maybe I want to let you know that you are not. You have been created by the Most High. You were destined to be something special, make a difference. And maybe you don't think that. Maybe your father, or your mother, or your coworkers, or your maybe you see that in your own spiritual sense, but don't let that stop you from your destiny. Because I'm going to tell you something right now. It is part of the test of growing strong and living free. And what I want to talk about this on Fail to Prevail is about the primer of persistence. One quality that I would like to look in a person is to make yourself a believer. You have to believe to achieve is my thing. The quality is persistence. Passion, creativity, motivation are all great qualities to have when pursuing your goals. And a lot of times when we talk about goals, we find that we're not supportive maybe by a lot of the people because they don't understand you. They don't go to the light. They're living in their own shadow. And the reason why most people fail is maybe sometimes regarding goal setting. I'm going to tell you, stop now because you are supportive. If you don't have that support, or if you don't have that, maybe you didn't grow up primed, so to speak, by your father by or supported, or maybe it was just a constant negative enforcement. And I'm going to tell you right now that now is a great time to shift and don't let those others, because if they fall away, then it's meant to be. Okay? You need to, right now, you need to go where your path, your true father, your highest power father, because that father is the one that is your true essence. Now, there's a mom and dad universe. We have the universe. But your father always stated that he would never leave you, never forsake you. And so I want to, if maybe you don't feel like you have that support on a level on here in human reality sense, but you have the most strongest, most powerful of all Father here. And that is who you need to honor today. Today is a great time to honor that one. And he doesn't need, he's not going to put you down. He's not going to take things from you, control things from you. He wants to push you on the right destiny. If you don't feel like you're in that level of where your flesh is not receiving that love, go to the true Father, because that Father is also a major player. It's a test. So what I want to talk about is when you fail, you can prevail, because there are things that you need to understand when it comes to you being chosen for a destiny. Passion and creativity come in waves. We all go through phases and transitions in our life. Persistence is a constant trickle of the human spirit. You will never have waves of success if you do not first fill the ocean with drops of effort. There will be at times when you are on that success and then something comes around and takes it away, busts that bubble, so to speak. And so, for example, I was listening to another high spiritual leader about an example where maybe you feel like this is something going on in your life. You partner with somebody. You think, oh, well, you have this wonderful project. You put all this effort. You put all your creativity that the Father's given you, and you are so excited. You're so passionate. You're so full of joy and peace. And all of a sudden, someone comes by or a company comes by and they take it away from you. They steal it from you. They rob. They deceive. It's the enemy. And you're asking and wondering, well, why would the Father do that for me? Why would he allow them to do that? It's an example like, okay, when, say, back in the days, kings and stuff, they used to rule certain types and conquer to prevail. They would conquer, victory. And so they would take over lands, they would take over the people. And a lot of times, these, for example, I think it was Ishmael or something. I can't remember the name in the scripture, but his human father owned a bunch of land and so forth. And what happened was there was God had blessed that land, the Father, and it was in riches of abundance and prosperity, and it overflowed with some amazing harvests and wells of water and so forth. And when this king, he took over, I think it was the Philistines. I think it was Philistines, if I remember. They would take over, and these shepherds and all these people would come and they would steal from him and take from him. And he's like, no, you don't own this. The king does now. So we're going to take this. And he was like, oh my gosh, here's all my efforts, and I guaranteed, and I have this sex abundance, and I've been blessed, and they steal it from me. So instead, yes, that's bitterness. Maybe something like that's happened to you in your life. Maybe you started a project, or you partner with somebody like today's technology with some website company or some server or some products or people that you've decided to think, and instead their promises were deception, and they come and they take, and you're left without again. And so you have to move on and take the high road. Now, it's very hard. You can get angry. You can get mad. A lot of times in our life, our emotions are not always controlled. We are human, and we do have things in our lives and hormones, and we do have, some of us have disabilities and injuries, and we do have a brain, and our brain relies on certain things, and there is an area of emotions where there's a hippocampus and the amygdala, and there's the limbic system, and it connects to the main rod down in our spine, which is the spine that connects us to the higher power of the chakras and all that. If you don't understand what we're talking about, chakras are an amazing thing of energy wise, where we connect. And it rules and it spans out into a roadmap, which is our nervous system, which activates in our bloods and our cells and our all that and our muscles and stuff. It can physically and mentally affect us. And so a lot of times when we are at that level, we don't know how to control. So we have to come back and say, okay, yes, I'm bitter. Yes, I'm upset. Yes, why would the Father allow this to happen? And you have to say, okay, now, my thing is to you, when it comes to things I've talked about in the past, you have to prevail. Yes, you failed, but it's not your failure. It's somebody that's taken that, and it's everybody sees you as dumb. Don't allow that to be your goal setting. Come back to where you are in your heart and believe, because you can determine how well you are doing by those who have come after you. That is a sign right there. Maybe, and I want to talk to you in regards to why some people fail at this, because maybe you're staying stuck, allowing those narcissistic or controlling or people to just completely take a hold of you. And like that I say, I learned this from that story. So Ishmael, instead of allowing them to control and take over, he looked to his father's father and he said, all right, I'm bitter, I'm upset. This is a fail to me, but I just need to move on and let it go and release and forgive. So that's hard to do. It is, because in our human spirit, we want to fight and fight or fight, and it's normal. So what you need to do is you need to move on. Let it be given up and let it go to the higher power, because yes, they have taken from you. Yes, you've put so much effort, all that creativity, all that power, all that supernatural gift, in a sense, to be taken from and not respected. And maybe you feel like that in your own life or your family or your work or your career, love and relationships. You're seeking answers. So when I talk about setting goals, many people avoid setting goals when it comes to this time because they've tried it once and then they didn't achieve them. They decided goal setting just doesn't work. Maybe the fact is the people who are most successful in the world are big failures. Did you know that? Yes. But they're avid goal setters. They are driven to accomplish what they set out to achieve, what the higher power and their father put in for their destiny. They know what they're aiming for. That is what goal setting really does for you. It gives you that clear target. It raises up that vibration. It gives you that passion, and you aim And you can take that fail to prevail. You are much more likely to hit a target if you have one aim for. So why don't goals work for most people? I always hate this phrase. Have you heard this phrase? If you keep doing the same thing over and over again, then it's considered, and it's not working for you, then it's considered insanity. But in the spiritual realm, like this story of where Ishmael did, he actually lost that and they stole it from him. All the hard work he did, all the hard work he did. So he said, well, I'm going to move on. Because they're move on to another area of land that the Father has guided him to. So he got to work again. He worked on his goals, set up his goals, and he dug and created again in this new land abundance flowing with water and prosperity. And then all of a sudden, here they come again, the shepherds and the Philistines, and said, no, you can't be doing this here. This is the king, whatever. So a second time, it happened to be, again, the same thing he did because it was in his heart and his goal. He was told and guided to. He took it away from him again. Can you believe that? Just like maybe what's going on in your life. Here are 5 reasons why most goals don't work. And I'm going to tell you something how you can avoid these mistakes and create a powerful goals. I understand this. Trust me. Because it makes you crazy. But let me tell you something. Most of us that are guided by a higher power, yes, a lot of these people that fall to the shadows in a sense and don't see, think you're nuts, you're crazy, oh my God, you're bipolar, oh my God, you're ADD, oh my gosh, you're schizo, you're blah, 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 blah. It can be everything, but yes, in the human spirit, it is taking a toll on your flesh, your hormones, your limbic system, your nervous system, your heart. It can affect you. But it doesn't stop you from what your goals are. There are 5 reasons most goals don't work. And I'm going to tell you something. I understand this. This is a mistake. Create powerful goals that lead you to wealth, success, happiness, prosperity, peace, and protection that you seek. Remember, I said, ask, seek, and you shall receive. So generic goals, for instance. Many people set very generic goals. Daily things like that don't create a vision. It's just get things done. Like, oh, I gotta clean the house. Oh, I gotta get up and change the litter box. Oh, I gotta feed the cats. Oh, I gotta get my kids ready for school. Oh, I've got to get my oil changed. Oh, I've got to wash my face, brush my hair. You know what I'm talking about? Pay that bill. Maybe save up money for a vacation, which is on a plus side, but it's inspiring actions that do not give you a specific target to achieve. So, for example, if you want to buy a new house, there are a lot of responsibilities to a house. Then you have to set specific goals, but you have to understand the responsibilities. You'll have to cut the grass. You want to cut the grass. How much you're going to this, that. Do you want to clean it? Do you want whatever? What about the schools around it? What about the neighbors around it? What about you got to look at that whole area of land because it could be just like Ishmael went, where the king and had all the shepherds take over. It could be a simple place where like a court system or a crooked governor or a crooked or whatever or a mayor or just people in general cause problems and it decreases the value of everything that you put into. So maybe something that happened to your life, a divorce. A new company took over another company. They received millions of dollars, and now they take and they don't pay you anything, but then they turn you into a slavery type thing. And it's in a technical age too. Remember, we look at the technical age. We got to deal with this competition. And you're like, oh my gosh, I was promised this from this company. I was put in this, and then this. Now they sold us out. It's like trafficking in a technology age. You ever heard of sex trafficking, human trafficking, right? It's slavery, basically. Well, now it's in a technology age. And they think that they control your business or they sell you out for millions of dollars to other companies. And when they didn't even receive any money, you were supposed to be paid all this money while you're partnering with it. And now all of a sudden you have no clue this other company now has it, and now they're changing all the rules, and you're like, no, 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 I don't think so. I have a deal with this. It's just like with Ishmael with the water. So he feels again this prosperity. Here comes this other company. Here comes this king. Here's the Philistine and the shepherd, and they go, "What are you doing? You can't do that. We're taking it now." And he could have said, "Okay, a lot of times you can fight me better," and he wanted to, but he stood up and he fought. And he's like, "Okay, I've had enough of this. I'm going to do something." But he thought to sit and meditate and pray on it and sense, well, what do I do now? Here it is, the second time when they call. There's like another saying. I think it's shame on you, shame on them. Now somebody must be institutionalized. So here's this guy, Grimmer, and I'm sure you've gone through this in your life, and you're just like, oh, nothing is ever going to be for me. When I've been promised this by the higher power, by your father, by this. This is promised to me. Why in the world and why is this to help me? Maybe you think that. Maybe you think that in your family. Maybe you think that from your relationship. Maybe you think that's in your career. And so you need to create a very clear picture of what you want, to write your goal accordingly. Determine what your goals are. Be specific, meditate on it, and pray. And the key is to avoid making that mistake of generic goals. Can you hear me right now? Are you listening to me? Are you listening to me? Come on. So good. So good. Come on. Maybe think about that. So when you create a clear vision of what you're aiming for, your passion, whatever, be specific. No matter what that goal is, it can happen sometimes where you say, but you promised this to me. You promised this to me, and why would these companies? Why would this company? Another one, another one. What in the world? Oh no! I've been hacked, and I've got identity theft again. You gave away my house. You gave away my car. You gave away my truck. It's like country song thing backwards, right? No, hello. So I mean, here we go about this. So just like with Ishmael, he said, okay, I'm really, really just crazy right now and upset. And I'm really pissed off. And he got mad and everything, but he was like, he just, I mean, this is a big thing and what, I mean, he thought, well, shoot, I can't fight this. So what do I do? So he said, okay, I'm going to pray. I'm going to meditate. I'm going to look to the higher power, look to my father. I'm going to lock in my goal. And I want to reach into my subconscious. And that's the thing about a lot of people. It's your subconscious. Maybe you've been raised that way, programmed in that limbic system, and your hippocampus and your emotional, your hormones, or your transitionings in life, so to speak, have really affected you. And the clear vision of that goal, though, is still there because that is what the Father, higher power, Mama, and universe put in your heart and your destiny. You locked it in. But you're thinking, well, where in the world is God? Where in the world is Mom, Dad? Where is this universe at to accomplish? Because you promised me, these promises in my heart, promises destiny. Don't give up because it is still your destiny. And it's your choice. You get stuck, you can stay, whatever it is, there's a reason. These are tests alone. And it can make you crazy. It can make you sad. It's like triggers. There's triggers. And on a traditional level, you could maybe have something on a medical line, an injury. And it has set you back. You feel like, well, I'm going 2 steps back. I go 1 step forward, 2 steps, 3 steps back sometimes, right? And so inability to measure results can be affected, can be slightly kinked in your circular system. So if a goal you set does not allow you to measure like you did before, That doesn't mean you still haven't been given that path to your destiny. You have that choice, it's free will. So when I talk about what happened to Ishmael, he did go crazy and got upset and mad, but you know what? He took a step back, 2 steps back. He looked at redid his goals, he established it, learned and growed and figured out what mistakes he made and the challenges, because he said, okay, well, this is still my passion, still my heart, it's still my destiny. So I'm going to believe and seek to the higher power on the answer, because I know if I manifest and work, and maybe I didn't do this right, maybe I need to reprogram my subconscious because I've had that issue, maybe because I've got injuries, maybe I don't have the health care I need, maybe I don't have the support I need. You can establish that and learn to, again, establish what you need to stretch out. So what did Ishmael do? Yes, he got angry, he was bitter, but he took steps back and he reevaluated on his strategy and his goal, and he set out again to tie into his long-term plans and missions for his abundance and prosperity, like maybe you're trying to do in your career or your life. You can get that guidance spiritually. Maybe you need to reprogram your subconscious and work on that. There are lots of things you can do in order to stretch out and see what the higher power has for you indeed. Now, setting a time frame from achievement, setting a time frame is also important to me. Maybe it wasn't that time for Ishmael to do that in a sense. Maybe it was just a path to learn. Maybe you've done that. Maybe you've gone off and decided, no, I don't want to do that. And then this happens and that happens. And you're like, okay, well, now I understand and I've learned so much. I'm stretched out. I can see more. I can prick into the supernatural. And some of those things, those people who used to be in your life were not a good thing. So it falls away. Let me tell you something right now so good. I want to tell you right now, listen to me. Listen to me. It is your time. You're going, that fail to prevail is coming towards you. I see it for you. It's whether you have your dream, you're coming true, your dreams and reality, it is still there in your destiny. You just have to learn to program your subconscious, release and let go. Maybe you got to cut some cords. If they've fallen off, it's meant to be. But you're thinking, well, Dr. Traci K, I don't want them coming around anymore. It just keeps happening. Why does it keep happening? I want to stop this. I want to forget about this. And I want to be able to, they're delaying my dream. Why did they keep coming? Well, let me tell you something. Just like Ishmael, let me tell you the rest of the story. He said, okay, I want to move on. So he let go, he cut the cord, and moved on. Now, you would think by this time, this is what's called insanity. Keep doing the same thing over and over again, and what is it? Insanity. Well, let me tell you, he went and did the third thing to the insanity part. So he went again, he said, okay, direct me again. I leave it to you, the higher power. Make me crazy, whatever. But what do I need to do now? And they said, take your time, step back, and listen. And that's when he got a message. It's still there for you. Most high achievers I have checked out 100% responsible for life and made is a concerted effort to learn the art of goal setting. These achievers invest their own time, energy, and financial resources. They join clubs. They do self-education. They reprogram their mind. They stay strong in the spirit. They hire coaches, mentors to master what they need to do for their destiny. And let me tell you something, just like Ishmael, let me tell you the rest of the story. So he said, okay, here I go again. I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to go insane. I'm going to try it again. Woo! What a crazy guy he is, right? So he did it again. He said, okay, guide me where I need to go again. I'm going to try it again. What the heck? And he said, I don't believe I'm doing this. This is crazy, but I'm going to keep trying. And here I go again. So he went to another area where his father guided him in his land, and he had a better skill, better strategy. He had more knowledge. He had a stretch on his plan, and he again, because that's what his gift was given from the higher power, he again created a prosperous area that had nothing. I mean, it was all, I mean, this area was dried up. Nothing grew. Nothing was ever goal setting on achievement on this land. But he had the gift. So he again dug up, worked the land, kept working it. I mean, this is crazy, right? It's insane. But he was blessed by the higher power, his father, and said, boom, all of a sudden, water of the wells flew, things grew in prosperity and abundance, and it stretched out so much on this prosperity abundance. He again showed this. But this time he's like, okay, now I'm going to PTSD because here again, I create something amazing for greater peace of mind, clarity of purpose, and productivity on my and personal growth for a higher quality of life. Oh no. What do you think? Uh-oh. Here they am I going to get it again? Something's going to trigger it. Am I safe? Lord, am I safe? Is it going to have something happen to me again? Are they coming after me? It's crazy, right? It's insane. It makes you insane if you think this. But this time, he's better skilled. He's better knowledgeable. He's put into places because those are tests. Those are what we learn in life, having goals to make life easier. You can attract a higher quality of peer group. You can increase confidence and self-esteem. You're contributing to others. You make things better. And it'll help you become a better version of yourself. Well, let me tell you something. The story goes and little things will pop up. Maybe you got PTSD like this thing, or maybe you're going through menopause, or maybe you're going through a divorce, or maybe you lost a child. Maybe you saw things that weren't to be. Maybe you're in a place to where, and all of a sudden you're thinking, oh, something triggered. It's going to make you crazy, insane, right? That's not what it means. It means that's the test. Those are the tests. Because you are going to be in a shining example and moving towards and realizing your full potential in your spiritual and your physical life. Don't let that stop you. Look at these stories of all this. Well, let me tell you something what happened to Ishmael. Then no one came. No one came to steal, rob, or anything from him again. He was like, he'd get these triggers and he'd look behind his back and he'd be like, oh, but nothing happened because somehow the higher power was working behind the scenes to make sure of it. And I'm telling you, maybe that's happening to you right now. Maybe you're on your path. Maybe you're not there yet. We all got paths and tests to go through in our lives. But that happened to him. No stealing or robbing or came to them and he prospered. And he said, this is good. This is good. So good, right? So good. The blessing for each individual life and goal is about mastering the art of it. Mastering. Seeking knowledge, seeking guidance, reprogramming your subconscious, healing in your spirit, healing in your body, healing in your nervous system, taking that time, seeking what you need to. Maybe it might be a specialist in healthcare. Maybe it might be an expert in self-education. Maybe you just need to be in a place where somebody know where don't have to cut the grass anymore. You don't have to clean whatever. You don't have to cut bushes. You can't do it anymore. And the Lord, the higher power, brought that to you. Safety. So you can afford to be safe. You can afford to be paying, and you think to be grateful. So I'm telling you right now, you can do this. All you've got to do is seek, and you will find. And I want to share this workbook with you. So I want to take a look at this workbook and enjoy, and please, but you're taking this workbook, ask and you shall receive, is a great workbook and a tool to get this. And I hope you have a wonderful week. And I'll see you on the next Spiritual Vibe message. Take care.